Our male is a little down, but he is confronted by a wild cauliflower. Yes, a wild cauliflower. He removes his knife and begins prepping by removing the leaves, or the green stuff. He cuts it in half, and then quarters. Then he merely cuts steaks. These steaks will be cut again, and into crumbles. Just a rough chopping. He sets the cauliflower aside and brings in his heating element and his pot. He fetches his hose, but it's not long enough. He fills it to about 3/4 of the way, enough to cover the cauliflower. He brings it up to a boil and then begins to add his cauliflower. All of it. He sets a timer for 5 minutes and tries to find a good camera angle. In the meantime, he has preheated his oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. He lines a baking sheet with aluminum foil and places 4 pieces of bacon. Bacon. Once the timer is done, using a net type thingy, he fetches it, drains it very well, and pours it into his casserole dish. But there are still some remaining. As the male contemplates how to display this on camera, he is stumped. How can he drain the cauliflower but have it be on camera without moving the camera? He fetches a colander and is utterly lost with what to do with it. Here, no. There, no. Here, no. There, no. There, no. Here. He fetches a metal bowl, and this is a bad idea. Yes, he spills the water everywhere. He soon realizes it, and, well, it's a bad idea. Does what he should have done in the first place, and drains it in the sink. Humans are very daft. He adds a pinch of salt, and more salt, and more salt, and more salt. A sprinkling of black salt, also known as pepper, and he mixes it and sets it aside. He brings the pot back in and adds 4 ounces of cream cheese, about half a bar, and half a cup of heavy cream. He sets it to a simmer and begins stirring. In the meantime, the oven has dinged and the bacon is ready. He places his bacon on a paper towel lined plate. You don't want it necessarily soaking in the grease. Sets the plate down and sets the grease aside, but he does not throw it away. He adds a tablespoon of onion powder, a tablespoon of garlic powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of paprika, and a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and begins to stir. He then adds half a cup of mozzarella, 2 cups of shredded cheddar cheese, and half a cup of Parmesan. This is the motley crew of cheese. At first, it looks like a mess. He adds about a tablespoon of the bacon grease. This will infuse flavor and make it much more creamy. Again to stirring. As it begins to melt, he notices it requires more cream. He adds about a tablespoon. He doesn't want a gloop of cheese, he wants a cream. He brings the bacon back in because it's time to cut it. He finally chops it with his knife and adds it to the cheese roux. Not exactly a roux, but we'll call it one. He still finds it a bit dry, so he adds about another 2 tablespoons of heavy cream. Once it reaches this consistency, he sets it aside. Places drums on his heating element and brings back his cauliflower. Look at that gooey cheese. As he pours the cheese into his cauliflower, he prepares himself to mix. It might have been easier to mix it in the pot. Once it's mixed, he spreads it across the casserole dish. And again, adds more shredded cheese on top. Then, using Pork Panko or simply ground up pork rinds, he adds a nice layer to the top. This adds flavor, crunchiness and color. This goes into the oven. He sets his timer for 20 minutes. Now it's a waiting game. Alas, the wait is over. Careful, it's a bit hot. He grabs his plate, begins cutting, and removes the first piece. And this is a delicious cauliflower mac and cheese. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe, and until next time, eat well.